Okay, it's the end of May and it's been raining a ton, so the garden is really lush and everything's gotten real big real fast. I had to come back and prune some things back because they were going crazy. Have been busy. I did plant up the rest of my green stalk with strawberries from the hill. These were some that have been in there that were fruiting. These are newly planted, mostly newly planted. Pretty much everything died over the winter. This little guy is where the passion fruit plant used to be. I need to put something else there, probably a black creme that's in a pot for my coffee. I replaced my cilantro. That's what I've been doing this week, is replacing things. Replace my cilantro with some basil. I have lettuce leaf, opal, and purple ball in there. There's a little lemon balm that I'm going to do something with. Tradescantia. Put my parsley in a pot because I only have two. Thought I'd let them size up. Probably be the best place to cut on them anyways. Tradescantia. Chard I took out of the planter. Chocolate mint, in favor of putting in my Goth Garden seedlings here. So we've got some coleus and celosia scabiosa growing in with my angelonia that I maybe need to prune her. I haven't had angelonia before. And then my midnight gold petunia, which I feel like also might need a little pruning, or maybe she's about to flower. Maybe I'll leave her alone, just deadhead it. And then anise hyssop here, taking over the pot. My dahlia, after several applications of cayenne pepper, the squirrels or rats or whatever that were chomping it down finally left it alone, so I'll probably need to come back and add some there. Yeah, daylilies and rose. Also they need a deadhead, but a new cluster coming. I took off a cluster last week and they're inside in a vase, looking lovely. Citrus looks pretty happy, although I feel like they could look happier or look a little pale. I thought they would adjust after being outside a bit. But this is my Lisbon lemon, and she's putting on new lemons. And this one right here is my Meyer lemon, which is full of lemons now, so that's wonderful. Bay Laurel is happy. The lemon grown from seed, she's putting on new growth. Figs that were from my fig tree that got split during Helene. They've both taken root and are looking good. I might give one of these to a friend who had a fig tree that died. These are my potato plants. It's two different planters, but they are obviously quite happy. I think happier than any potatoes I've ever had. I'm going to attribute that maybe to the prolonged cool weather. It hasn't gotten as hot as it typically has. Witch hazel and Edgeworthia paper bush. I potted those up because I'm not sure where they're going to go yet. My yuzu plant that also needs to be potted up, I think. There's also an Easter lily in there that somebody gave me. My remaining celeries I put in a pot, which I think is probably the way to go. I might move them back in the greenhouse once I have a little space cleared out. Black creme tomato is my last one I put in the pot. I did give away a ton this year, but I still have a lot to go. So mostly herbs. Wormwood back there. This is lemon balm, ground cherry, alyssum, tulsi basil, lots of lavender, amaranth and lemon balm, columbine back there, hydrangeas grown from cuttings. Took cuttings of my black jewel raspberry. We'll see if they take. More coleus. That's an ashwagandha. And that's harvested for its root. So you figure out where to grow that. That is, let's see, the only new beans that I got this year, 1,500-year-old beans, which sounded interesting. They were found, the story is they were found in a pot and they sprouted. Then they were estimated to be 1,500 years old. So, and that's the variety. So we'll see what that looks like. when they pop out here. But yeah, on my bush beans, I was kind of late starting, but I think it's been fun because it's been so cool. These are sunflowers, which, always end up being bear food. So, bear paw print in my front yard, which is in the other video. And yeah, so maybe they're looking for sunflower seeds, which they'll have soon. They don't have yet, but I gotta let them get bigger. And then some melons, some more Goth Girl Garden flowers, black coat runner beans, and then my French lilacs that are off the cuttings. I potted those up. I don't know if that was wise because I didn't have much in the way of roots going yet, but we'll see. Alright, and then asparagus bed, which also has 2 corn volunteers in there. I'm assuming that the squirrels planted those for us. Do have a chamomile in there, and then the pine berries. Pine berries were grown from seed from a fruit from the store, and they seem to grow back fine. A lot of times you hear people tell you not to do that. So Strawberry Hill here, it's doing fine. We have a cranberry viburnum over there that has come back nicely. Thought it was dead. The strawberries are blooming again. This is an ever-bearing variety, which means they will occasionally pop off after the initial May season. That is my passion fruit. Yes, I did take most of the foliage and most of the vines off. That is to give it a sporting chance, I hope. I built it a little terrace, so hopefully the additional warmth from the rocks will help it overwinter. I watched a really long video on the different types of passion fruit / flower, and I don't have a lot of faith in the variety that this is after watching it. So, anyways, it might be hardy, might not be, we will see. My mango pawpaw looks like she has some new leaves, so she's putting on growth. That is very good. And then backing up here, serviceberry, also putting on new growth. Comfrey, I did just cut back the other day because it's a little unruly. And these, I believe you can cut them all the way down to the ground and they will come back. And I am pretty certain this is a sterile variety, if I remember right. So I don't have to worry about it going too many places, but it does make a really good fertilizer. So I did cut some down and make comfrey tea, which is not yet ready, but I'll probably be doing that again soon. Blackberry back there, clematis, more blackberries, which I don't expect to get fruit off of this year because I cut them all the way down to the ground. And if Monty Don is correct, they only fruit on second year canes, so I will get no fruit this year, but them's the breaks. My black hollyhock flowered. I'm so proud of her. Hardy kiwi, this is second year in the ground, is romping away. I'm hoping that we'll eventually take up this whole fence over here. I have one on the other end and they will meet and make lots of fruit. That is a black jewel raspberry. Looks like one cane has grown way out and away. I'll have to come back in and tie that up. Did put in a couple of celery in the bed the other day right by the little emitters for the irrigation system, which I haven't had to run in 2 weeks because of all the rain. The blueberries here, I did say I wasn't going to do that this year, but then these are just so unusually large, and I don't know if it's because of the variety, because with the blueberries I've had such bad years. I've kind of lost track of the varieties. I have a Blue Ray and a Blue Jay. I know, and which one this is I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so bagged up the fruit so I will be able to get the fruit, because if not, it will be gone the next morning when I'm like, oh yeah, that's almost ready, I'll get that tomorrow, and then it's always gone. Black cherry tomatoes are coming in here, and I think I may have decided to take out this Brussels sprout because his, I don't know if it's, again, the weather or other conditions. We did have a storm, which is why there's like debris on everything here. Yeah, so it's very short. I don't think it's going to make much in the way of Brussels. So it's taking up a lot of space, and she's beautiful, but, maybe there's other ways to use that space right now. Cabbages almost done. These are a little buggy eaten, but I've used nothing on them this season. No BT, no neem oil, nothing. I have hand-picked a couple critters off when I've seen them, so yeah, they're not pretty. But I feel like that's pretty good considering they haven't had any kind of even organic pesticide on them. So those are the green zebras. That's green zebra there. I did have to replace one because it was stunted. And so that's a baby green zebra. That was also done from a cutting. These are the black crims here. And the tomatoes are just kind of doing what they want. I did have the intention of making them single liter, but they got away from me real fast, so they're getting to do whatever they feel like this year. I'll probably just be cutting random things off periodically to keep it, kind of open for airflow. The blueberries on the other side are more impressive. It's full. It's leaning towards the sun. Shiso seems to be doing fine. I did replace the lettuce with Tulsi basil. So let's see if that goes. I did put a zinnia in there. That's a queen lime blush. And a lettuce leaf basil. Oh, somebody washing a car, of course. Poppy. I just cut back my oregano to dry. I still need to come get some thyme. I am almost out of my own kitchen stores. I do like to cut it in regular intervals so I can have some for friends to give as gifts. But last year I made an herb salt and everybody really liked it, so I've been tasked to make that again. So yeah, blueberries there. Looking really good. That's the Cabernet Blush blueberry. I was going to let these grow and develop into, and maybe I still should because we're most of the way there, develop into rose hips. But if I cut them now, they'll make more flowers. So maybe I should do that. Got plenty of time to make more flowers. Chives. And lavender getting swallowed up a little bit by this volunteer squash plant that I'm letting grow along the border here. May or may not be a mistake. We shall see. But volunteers tend to be so happy. Poppy. That is a poblano pepper. Scarlet kale. There's another pepper in here. I think that's a paprika. We got the pepper on there already. And the mustard I need to pull out because it's bolting. And snow peas. I determined this is in fact a snow pea, not a snap pea. I thought I'd only put in snap peas, but obviously I didn't. And that is, I'm going to think that might be another poblano. We'll see. Or an Ash County. I've got labels on them somewhere, but they get faded. My rhubarb and Brussels sprout, I did top it, so it does look like there's little Brussels forming in there. I imagine it might not be getting enough light from all of the squash here. The peas I feel like might be getting to the end of their cycle here, so I do have a squash growing up in there. And there are beans behind it on the other side, which I probably should have shown that too. We can go back around. And the peppers might be getting crowded out. I might have been doing them a disservice. I thought maybe that the Brussels sprouts would be done a little sooner than they have been, but I don't know why I would think this year would be any different. And all the snap peas, and that is a sugar magnolia, I believe it's called, and don't remember that one. One there. That's a murasaki pepper. And that is a sugar Ann, which is a dwarf. You can see all the things here. Pepper, that's a poblano. Got a red cabbage, hollyhock, volunteer tomato back there. Probably gonna let that be. Artichoke. That is a shishito pepper there. And then I have also let these borage grow up in the walkway, and they're kind of taken over. I've already had to dig up some and rehome them, but I didn't do the best job for reasons. But anyways, I don't know if that's going to work. I do have a delphinium in there and a poppy in the middle of the rhubarb. I don't know that she's going to make it though. I'm going to see if I can dig that up. Peach tree, contender peach that I did leave like 3 peaches on by accident, but now on purpose. Looks like I have a little sprout coming up there, a little sucker from the roots. Some nasturtium. There's a sage plant. Sage plant's supposed to be a garden friend to everybody. Do have a couple of pea plants are still going back there amongst the hardy kiwi. It looks like the raspberries kind of taken over there as well. Let's come a little closer. So yeah, black jewel raspberry, creeping in. I do have one rhubarb that's not happy. All the other ones look pretty good. Poppy, and there's asparagus, 2nd-year asparagus, peas, rhubarb, very healthy. All the peas back here appear to be about to go over. And then let me come back. Oh, I don't disturb the bee now. So we'll come around this way. Probably disturb a different set of bees. Fig tree here. I'll probably have to give her a trim maybe later on. I did put in birdhouse gourds back here. They do seem to be growing remarkably upright, so that's very positive, because normally you have to sort of encourage things to get up on the trellis. I did just tie up a little bit of the hardy kiwi down there, and this, just to reiterate, new bit of fence is because a cluster of trees fell through and kind of went diagonal through the yard. Split my fig tree in the middle, so the babies are from this, but then also this hardy kiwi that was its 5th year in the ground was obviously attached to this fence, so it stayed in the ground but had to cut it all the way back basically to the ground, and it's regenerated already just from this year. And also here's peppermint that I thought that I had gotten all of. I did let a little bit go earlier this season, and because I thought, oh, it'd be good for it to come back, and it's come back in full force. Like, there was literally root fragments. I did know what I was doing when I did it, so I have nobody to blame but myself. Alright, and then there's some cauliflower. There's a Brussels sprout in there. Primarily cauliflower here. I had 2 broccolis that I just cut down and made broccoli soup with. So this is different squashes and melons. There's a celery bolting going to seed in the mix there. But yeah, I'm letting the squashes take over the space. And then back here, these were all supposed to be broccolis. That's a Romanesco. And so I'm guessing it looks kind of vaguely cauliflowerish, so maybe that's what a Romanesco does. But yeah, Ducicchios and Romanescos, and the Romanescos seem to be pretty big and happy and healthy, but haven't formed their flowers yet, their florets. So here's all the borage in my walkway, and I've already dug up a good bunch of it. Forgot to talk about my tomatoes. These are all the bush tomatoes, and I did actually already cut some back yesterday, give them some airflow, because obviously things are very crowded in there. On my white and blue borage, and a little bit of some some pinky purple ones, if I'm making my own borage here, my own variety. And then all the things in this little corner: poppies, watermelon, cabbage, and ground cherries, chard. The dill I cut within an inch of its life. I'm sure it doesn't have too much longer to hang out with us. All the squashes I'm letting take over here. They're pouring out into the yard. And that is a crookneck squash, starting to make some fruit. Watermelon. I did just put in some compost yesterday out of my bins. Carrots. Queen blush zinnia, queen lime blush, I believe. But I don't know if it's going to make it. It looks like it's delicious. And more carrots. So the fig tree kind of taking up some space in the garden bed. See a nice open bit there. Alright, and then back here, blackberries. And this is from one that I stuck in the ground last year, I believe, just a cutting. And this is my biggest boy cut down to the ground, and it's coming back. Put in some anise hyssop. Is, I believe, a eupatorium. And pawpaw tree. Very happy and healthy. Like it dropped its flowers, so I don't think we're going to get any fruit. I was hoping, because I haven't had a buddy for it. Well, I tried last year to get a buddy for it, but they hadn't been hard. It hadn't been easy to find, and now all of a sudden they're easy to find. But in any event, I was hoping there would be one close enough, since it's a native, but apparently not, since it dropped its flowers. Elderberry, which is just taken over the corner here. Heritage raspberries, which are fully out of the bed. Blueberries that I just tied up because staking them doesn't work here. I've tried a bajillion times and the ground is just too soft and critters come through and everything, so tied them up a little bit. I feel like this one might be destined for getting moved. It's been in the ground 5 or 6 years and it's spindly. I mean, makes fruit, does good, but could do better, I'm sure, if it was a little happier. Same thing here. That's a blueberry that I think is a blue ray, and these are pink lemonade blueberries. There's some borage that I transplanted from the garden bed. Looks like some is taking, some maybe not. I haven't watered them since, so that's my bad. Look at the trees. Quince. She's putting on some new growth. Oh, my little bug friends there. So this apparently was the right spot for her. Pink lady apple. And this is my, let's see, Czech 17 honeyberry. And this is my Suncoast nectarine. I always think of Best Coast when I look at that. There's the, this is the Coshing. Or is this the Crimea? This might be the Crimea. Quince. Let's see here. I did leave the tags. Oh, the Crimea. So, this one's Crimea. That one's Coshing. Crimea took a lot longer. She's not quite as happy with her place. Indigo Treat. And then last up is my volunteer peach that grew up in the bed. May or may not have edible fruit. It'll take us a while to know. And I did want to say I got 2 out of 3 of the remaining debris piles chipped up, and that's why I have nice new wood chips in the bed there. So that's the last of the Helene debris, and it's really just been a matter of priority because it hasn't been priority. Although last week we did take some time to deal with it because our rat population had gotten out of control, and I think largely it was because of both the bag debris and the piles of debris, and so it did help. I haven't seen as many rats in my yard, so definitely an improvement. Alright, and that's it. The end.